Hello, hello. Welcome to Daphne V TV. I am excited to be here with you today, and I want to talk about procrastination. So I hope you're not hopping on late. Let me start with a little story, or rather, a question. Have you ever put off something? Come on, anything. I want to see in your comments. Be real, be honest. If you have ever put off something, whether you weren't sure how to do it or you didn't want to do it, but if you've ever procrastinated, in the comments, put the word me or me too or I relate, whatever you want to put in there, just so I know that I'm not the only person in the whole wide world who has ever procrastinated. I'm going to start with a story now. And I'm going to warn you, it's a little bit gross, but I'll not go into gory detail. Years ago, my dad was like super strict when I was growing up. Like I was afraid of him, not from violence, but just like out of respect and, oh my gosh, what if dad finds out kind of thing. If you can relate to that, put it in the comments. And I used to walk barefoot, which is my favorite footwear, by the way. And I would sometimes drag my toes on the carpet, like, when your foot itches, but you don't want to bend down and scratch it. So you just kind of drag it along the carpet to itch it, to scratch the itch. Well, I was doing this. And somehow, I don't know, I wound up getting athlete's foot. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to tell my dad because, first of all, I wasn't supposed to be walking barefoot. And secondly, I wasn't supposed to be dragging my feet. So while I started to have some tenderness, I procrastinated telling him about what was happening. Until one day, it had gotten so bad, he said, "Daphne, why are you limping?" No, I'm not limping. Every step I took was painful. And finally, he said, "Tell me what's going on. Let me see." And it was bad, y'all. This is the part I'm not going to get into detail. It was really bad. You see, out of fear, I had put off telling him about something that could have been handled with a cream or a powder. I had to go full on antibiotic, no sock, no shoe, because I was afraid. I procrastinated dealing with what needed to be dealt with. Welcome to Daphne V TV, and today we're talking about procrastination and how to recognize it and overcome it. A few days ago, I was writing in my journal, and I want to share an insight that I had during that time. And this is like a direct reading it to you straight from, this is my journal, okay? My little Planet Fitness pen and everything. Shameless plug. I'll take a free mug. The topic was slow down and reflect. And I said in my notes, most productive action is preceded by slowing down and reflecting. Not to be confused with procrastination, okay? Slowing down and reflecting is not the same as putting off, just for the record. Excellence requires I slow down. At the same time, am I overanalyzing? Which led me to these thoughts. Why am I procrastinating? Is it because I feel inadequate? As long as I put off the task, I won't find out if I'm right. Have you ever been faced with a task that, like I said earlier, you're not sure how to do it, so you put it off? Because as long as you put it off, then you won't know if you're not capable. Well, guess what? As long as you put it off, you won't find out if you're right. You also won't find out if you're wrong. Boom. Let that sink in. When you're putting something off out of fear, like, I don't know if I'm going to do this right, you're also putting off finding out if you are going to do it right. Does that make sense? The thing you're putting off, you might be fantastic at. You might get it done in 10 minutes where you were thinking you'd built it up in your mind that it was going to take 3 hours. And then there's all the time you spent thinking on it. So what could be a 10, 15-minute task has now taken hours of your thought energy. Is this resonating with anybody? If so, just put resonates in the comment. Because what I have learned is this: procrastination is really fear. It's fear. We don't want to find out if we've got what it takes to accomplish a task. We don't want to find out if we're inadequate, which brought to mind one of my favorite quotes by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine, as children naturally do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in every one. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So think about that for a minute. Are you putting off letting your light shine out of fear of inadequacy? Here's what I realized. When we experience something new, we have a chance to grow or a chance to glow. When we put an end to procrastination, we find out, well, was I right? Was I short in a skill set? Was I premature in my decision to take action because I didn't have all the resources I needed? If so, that's an opportunity to grow. And if we dive in, we stop procrastinating, we address the need, take on the task at hand, we might just find out that we glow. We might just let our light shine. And when we do, like Marianne Williamson says, we give others permission to do the same. Let me share something with you from one of my favorite books. And it's found in Hebrews 12:11. It says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who've been trained by it." So the next time you have a deadline, a task, an email, or a text message that you need to respond to, don't put it off. Don't procrastinate. Address it in the moment. Start adopting the discipline of now. I mean, why put off? Why delay the reward of accomplishment simply out of fear? That's really what procrastination is. Procrastination is fear of finding out. You've heard of FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, I guess this would be FOFO, fear of finding out. That's what procrastination is. We might find out that, hey, we don't have what we need, or we were wrong, or we might make a mistake. We also might find out that we are accelerating, that we are glowing, and at a minimum, you were able to check it off and say next. When we discipline ourselves in the now, we are living in right relationship with our integrity, with our alignment, and with our potential. So before we sign off today, I simply want to invite you to consider why you're procrastinating. Why are you putting it off? What is procrastinating doing for you? How is it serving you? There's got to be something. Is it reinforcing a limiting belief that you have? Is it holding you back from shining your light? Whatever it is, I encourage you to stop procrastinating today. Don't wait and stop procrastinating tomorrow. Okay? Don't procrastinate. I'm putting an end to procrastination. Stop procrastinating right now and give up the fear. Find out if you're going to grow or if you're going to glow. When you check off that task, you will know. And that is what's going to help you live a life by design, by breaking the chains of limitations and by making ways for you to move forward and fulfill the life that you were created for. Until next time, I want you to remember that you have permission to grow or glow. Bye for now.